At exactly 3 a.m., the clock in the hallway stopped ticking. I noticed it because silence replaced the steady sound that had followed me every night since I moved into the house. The red digital numbers froze on 3 o'clock, glowing faintly in the darkness. At the same moment, the air in my bedroom turned cold, unnaturally cold, like winter had crawled inside without opening a window. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Old houses make noises. Old clocks break. Fear, I told myself, comes easily when you're alone at night. Then I heard my name. It wasn't loud. It was whispered, stretched thin, as if spoken through water. The sound came from the corner of the room, where the shadows were thickest. Daniel. My body refused to move. My eyes were open, fixed on the dark ceiling, but my muscles felt pinned down by an invisible weight. Sleep paralysis, I thought. I had read about it. Hallucinations. Voices. Fear feeding fear. But the whisper continued. Daniel, look at me. Against every instinct screaming inside me, my eyes shifted toward the corner. The darkness there was deeper than the rest of the room, unnaturally solid. Slowly, it began to take shape, stretching upward like smoke learning how to stand. A face formed last, pale, cracked, with a mouth pulled too wide into something that was not a smile. I tried to scream. No sound came out. The thing tilted its head, studying me like an insect pinned to a board. It begins at 3, it said, its voice layered, as if several mouths spoke at once. It always begins at 3. Then the clock started ticking again. I gasped and sat up, drenched in sweat. The room was normal, empty, warm. The hallway clock now read 3:01 a.m., ticking steadily as if nothing had happened. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next day, I searched the house for logical explanations. Drafts. Faulty wiring. Stress. I had moved here only 2 weeks ago, after all, an old colonial house left to me by an uncle I barely knew. Maybe my mind was still adjusting. That night, I left all the lights on. At 2:59 a.m., every bulb went out at once. Darkness swallowed the house so completely it felt alive. My phone refused to turn on. The air grew heavy, pressing against my chest. Then came the footsteps. Slow, bare, moving through the hallway toward my room. I grabbed the flashlight from my bedside drawer, my hands shaking as I clicked it on. The beam cut through the dark just as the door creaked open. My reflection stood in the doorway. It wore my face perfectly. Same eyes, same scar above the eyebrow, but its expression was wrong. Empty, hollow. Its mouth opened, and when it spoke, the voice was mine, twisted. You didn't listen, it said. 3 is not a time. It is an invitation. The flashlight flickered and died. I woke up on the floor at sunrise, my door locked from the inside. That day, I found the journal. It was hidden in the attic beneath loose floorboards, its pages yellowed and brittle. The name inside the cover belonged to my uncle. The last entries were written in frantic, uneven handwriting. They come at 3 a.m. Not one. Many. They wear faces. They borrow bodies. The house is a door. My hands trembled as I turned the pages. He wrote about possessions. Not sudden, dramatic ones, but slow invasions. The entities would appear at 3 a.m., testing the mind, weakening it through fear. Each night, they took a little more. If you see yourself, one line red, it means they are ready. That night, I didn't go to bed. I sat in the living room, lights blazing, coffee growing cold in my hands. I watched the clock. 2:58 a.m. 2:59 a.m. At 3 a.m., the house exhaled. Every door slammed shut at once. The lights dimmed, not off, but low, like the house wanted me to see what was coming. Voices rose from the walls. Crying, laughing, prayers spoken backward. Shadows peeled themselves off the corners, forming human shapes that crawled toward me. I backed against the wall, clutching the journal. "You can't have me," I shouted, though my voice cracked. "I know what you are." The shadows stopped. From them stepped a figure taller than the rest, its body stitched together from darkness. Faces pressed outward from its skin, dozens of them, each one frozen in terror. "We don't take," it said calmly. "We replace." The room spun. My thoughts blurred. Memories slipped through my fingers like sand. My childhood, my name, my mother's face. I screamed and forced myself to focus on one thing: the journal's final page. Fire does not work. Prayer does not work. Only refusal. I looked at the thing and shook my head, summoning every ounce of will I had left. "No," I said. "You are not welcome. Not now. Not ever." The entity laughed, a sound like breaking bones. "You say that every night," it replied. I realized the truth then, not just about the house, but about myself. I had been here before. Lived this moment before. Failed before. The clock began ticking again. I woke up in my bed, the morning sun streaming through the window. The house was quiet, peaceful. Relief washed over me, until I noticed the time on my phone. 3 a.m. It hadn't changed. I stood and walked to the mirror, my movements smooth, confident. Too confident. I studied my reflection. It smiled back at me. Behind my eyes, something watched patiently, waiting for night to fall again.